my thoughts about how we could incorporate what you've been doing with training animals to eat knapweed, I thought, when would be the ideal problem, or when would be the ideal time to hit knapweed again with grazing? And ideally, that would be when it's in full bloom, just before it is made seed, and it doesn't have enough time to come back and make seed. So that was what I wanted to see if the cattle would eat the knapweed at that stage.
A review of the literature showed there were no toxins of concern in diffuse knapweed, but nutrition was a little more problematic. In general, the older a plant gets, the less nutritious it is. In this case, the plant had dropped from 18% protein, when the animals were willing to eat it, down to a mere 8%. So I was a little concerned that cows might not eat the weed.
When we were going to meet, and I looked in those buckets to see what was left, and I saw the dried up nasty knapweed. I thought, geez, well, I can see why they wouldn't want to eat that.
Pretty dry.
It sticks, pretty much sticks. I took 50 heifers through the standard training process, beginning with weeds on the afternoon of the 4th day. By the 7th day, the heifers were eating plain knapweed from tubs. We built fence on the 8th day, and on the 9th day, they began eating weeds in pasture. This is what it looked like for 3 days in the trial pasture. The cows seemed to enjoy the knapweed just as much as they did the grass in the pasture. On the last day in the trial pasture, Rob Alexander and Leo and Babe Hogan came by to check on the heifers' progress.
So what do you think?
You haven't seen them eat knapweed at this stage, right?
No. They sure are today. You guys look at this patch? Picked a lot of heads off them. This is pretty nasty stuff at this stage. It sticks down right there. I can't get over where they're eating. Pretty good trainer.
Well, and it's a multiple year thing, It's like, I don't know, it might take 5, 6 years. Who knows? Depends on the weather, depends on a lot of things. So the way it turned out, they did eat it, and they ate it in a pasture setting when we put them into 40 acres instead of 5 acres. And they weren't just nibbling on it. They were selecting it, and they were eating it pretty seriously. The pictures show that.
The cows didn't eat every single bud and blossom, but they made some good progress, as shown by these pictures. These are the training time and materials costs for the training. It took about 30 minutes per feeding, twice a day for 4 days. On the days we gathered weeds, there was an additional 2 to 3 hours in labor because gathering this weed took longer than usual since we focused on picking only those parts that we thought the cows would eat. Total cost of materials per cow for the training was about $3.40 for 50 trained heifers. If you keep in mind that each heifer will likely train 1 calf, cost per animal drops to $1.70 for 100 trained cows.
I was very happy with the way it turned out. The cattle can get to it at times in places when we're just not going to get to it with herbicides and what the bugs don't get. There's years when the bugs aren't very effective, I think. And so we have to throw everything at it we can, and this is just another something to throw at it. So I was tickled.